Hello friends, this is Anuj from Shatranj Time, and today we're going to solve some more puzzles as planned during the last series. So in another series of the video I had solved few puzzles with you, and we're going to continue solving few more puzzles, and I'll tell you the approach behind solving these puzzles. I'll quickly click here and go to solve puzzles option. So here we are starting. So in this puzzle, the black queen has just moved to e3 and white has to move. So can you think of any good move for white? The best possible move? Well, this seems to be little straightforward. I can clearly see that I can capture this pawn of black with my queen, and it will be supported by this particular pawn, white pawn of mine, and it will be, and I think there will be a series of moves. I don't think that the black king can escape from this checkmate, so it's a clear checkmate position. Yes, it's the correct puzzle. We'll quickly go on to the next. So this is the next puzzle. The white queen has just moved to g5, and black has to look for the best possible move in this position. So can you think of anything? So the only forced moves, that there are few forced moves that I can see here, and this is not as straightforward. This is, I think, one of the discovery format puzzles. So one of the straightforward forced move that I can see is that I can check the white king with my knight by placing it here on this square, and white has recaptured, but in the process my knight that was in between both the queens has cleared the space, so I can go ahead and capture white's queen. So this is one of the discovery format puzzles, and discoveries are very potent weapons when it comes to games. There are various types of discoveries, and this was rather straightforward, but in during real-time games sometimes there are complex discoveries, and you should always train your mind to not only spot discoveries when your opponent plays them against you, but also how to create discoveries, how to use a combination of moves in such a way that you can win material or potentially force moves on your opponent. So we'll quickly go on to the next puzzle now. Alright, so as you can see, the white pawn near the king has just moved 2 places. He's just placed it on f4, and black has to play the best move. Again, I think it's rather straightforward. There is only one forced move that I can see here, and that is if I check the white king with my queen, and the queen is over here. If I check the white king on g2, it will be supported by my bishop here, and it will be a checkmate. So let's quickly play that. Yes, so it's a checkmate, and the position was created because sometimes it happens in the real game scenarios as well that uh, your opponent can commit these mistakes by moving their pieces in such a way that it creates a position like this. So again, you can train for these kind of positions. We'll quickly go on to the next puzzle now. So knight has just moved to e4 and white is required to play the best move. Can you spot something here? Can you think of any best moves in this position? So just take a look at this position. I think again it is really straightforward. There is one forced move that is on the board currently, and it's pretty straightforward because my queen here on b5 is supported by my rook sitting at b1. So I can just go ahead and checkmate the king from here. So again, this is the correct solution. Let's quickly go on to the next. Alright, so the white rook has just moved to b8 and black is required to play the best move, the best winning move in this position. There can also be a sequence of moves. So again, can you think of something? So taking a look at this position, it's not a straightforward puzzle. I don't think that there are straightforward forced moves, but again, I don't think that they are correct if you don't play it in the correct sequence, because one move that comes to the mind is if I can capture this pawn with my queen, but that's not going to result in anything because there are two pawns and a king guarding that. Obviously, he cannot recapture with the king because there my queen will be supported by my rooks, but he can recapture with any of the pawns that is supporting the pawn on g3. So the sequence that comes to my mind is it's little complicated, so you should pay attention. So I'll start by playing my knight to f4, which will create a fork between the king and the queen. And the only possible move, the only possible way for white to respond, the only logical way rather, is to capture my knight with his pawn in order to save the queen. And once he captures my knight, then this particular file will be open for my queen, and I can check the king from here. And if I'm able to check him from here, then the only possible response for the king is to move to any of these squares. And once he goes to the first file, then I can instead check with my rook to this position, and in that case he will only be able to prevent the check from by putting his queen in between, so we will be able to win the queen of white. So this is one solution that comes to the mind. Let's try and play that. Okay, so as expected, the pawn has captured the knight. I'll quickly go and check his king. Okay, so the king has moved to the top position, and now I'm just going to quickly place my rook here, and the solution is correct. So this is little more complicated, as I told you, a series of moves that you had to play in order to win material or checkmate. So that's all for today, friends, and we are going to continue solving a few more puzzles in the upcoming videos. I think the last puzzle that we solved here was pretty interesting because it was not a straightforward force move. It was rather a sequence of moves, a series of moves that you had to play correctly to gain advantage over your opponent. So I'll create a series and I'll post few more videos in this series. I'll solve few more puzzles with you, and you can post your comments. You can let me know about what kind of content you want on this page, so I can rather participate in that content and do it for you. So happy learning.